Fear for future after mass die-off of fish in Poland's Oder River. WIDUCHOWA, Poland, as hundreds of lifeless fish neared the banks of the Oder River within the village of Wydychowa in western Poland on August 11. Neighborhood humans realized an ecological disaster that started out in overdue July in the U.S. southwest become heading closer to the Baltic Sea. As Wydychowa's citizens looked for gear to cast off the useless our bodies from the river, the authorities started out crisis reaction that many scientists say got here too overdue. It's been the toughest 5 days of my existence, said Paweł Wróbel, the mayor of Wydychowa, which is around 400 kilometers (250 miles) from the city wherein dead fish had first been spotted. I'd by no means imagined experiencing this type of disaster. It's far something you see in disaster films. With the help of the area people, he accrued dozens of pitchforks, used to raise potatoes, to put off useless fish from the river, which marks a part of the Polish-German border. We don't know how to do it and what equipment to use. We research from our mistakes, Wróbel mentioned. On August 12, Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki fired the top of Poland's National Water Management Authority and the head of the General Environmental Inspectorate, announcing that their institutions need to have reacted in advance. Despite severe checks of fish and water samples carried out by using Polish and overseas laboratories, and a 1 million zloty $211,775 reward for information on the source of infection, it's far nevertheless unclear what poisoned the Oder, Poland's second-largest river. We are centered on the one hand, stopping what's occurring, and alternatively, finding the cause for this case, mentioned Weather Ministry spokesman Aleksander Brzozka. Researchers in Germany and Poland's climate ministry have pointed to a large overgrowth of toxic algae as a probable purpose for the mass die-off. The most likely speculation is that it became a combination of numerous herbal elements, stated Brzozka. Something is wrong, local human beings told that firefighters and territorial defense forces deployed through the government to put off tons of dead fish had been now not organized for what awaited them within the river. The stench around the waters became so terrible that maximum of them vomited all through their work, in step with residents of the village. Local organizations have also been hit. When Peter Bugaj, a passionate angler and owner of boats, a slip and rooms to rent on the Oder, heard what turned into coming, he knew that it was time to position his employer on preserve. He requested his visitors from the Czech Republic to go away the water and cancelled all destiny reservations from clients, who flocked to Wydychowa from round Europe for its desert and diverse populace of huge fish together with catfish and pike perch. If it is possible with such a tragedy, I would like to study that's solely what changed into on the surface died out and now not more. But for the instant, no one has checked what is currently at the river bottom, he stated. The government has promised support for the ones tormented by the crisis. Peter Pisnell, a local activist, has devoted his existence to photographing wildlife around the Oder. For the past week he has been documenting the catastrophe. It is difficult because in reality, the sector we have observed and photographed with my buddy for the beyond few years is disappearing, he says. I suppose that after what has occurred within the Oder it will take years to rebuild the atmosphere. It will all ought to be reborn to feature the manner it has till now. Meanwhile, among Wydychowa's residents fear and uncertainty be triumphant. The lifeless fish have warned us that something is wrong, mentioned Sylwia Palasz-Wróbel, spouse of Wydychowa's mayor, status next to her husband at the foul Oder shore. When the fish are long past, who will inform us subsequent time while a catastrophe occurs? We would like to understand who's accountable for this. $1 equals 4.7220 zlotys.